Can you hear me now? Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do the collective for today. Today is Monday, July 7th, 2025. You may follow me on the Talk, the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. We love that for you. Whatever does not, just leave it on the table for someone else. We don't want you taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. We're going to use the Fall in Love deck. I got this off Amazon, I don't know, last year, like early last year, I want to say. Cancerian, US, the Cancerian channel. I don't know. I just know I got it off Amazon. I just figured something different. It's a love deck. There's other cards in there, so we'll see. We'll see what falls out. I hope everybody's enjoying their Monday or whatever day it is, wherever you are. We got one on the table. Three on the table. Four on the table. Five on the table. Let's do two more shuffles. One more. 8 on the table. 9 with bottom of the deck. Let me look at this. Whose reading is this? We got Time Apart. They Adore You. We got True Love. Family. Honest Conversations. Missing You. Reaching Out. Lessons Learned. And bottom of the deck, Relocating. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. Who is this? And it's funny because the first 3 cards fell out. Time Apart, They Adore You, True Love. And my first thought was like, oh, like this couple, like they belong together. And then in the back of my mind, I thought some kind of sneaky link, shitty card is going to fall out next. These are not bad cards. Like, who is this? Did you want the Time Apart or did somebody else want the Time Apart? Who wants the Time Apart? Because they love you. Like, this is somebody that loves you. This is somebody that wants a family with you if you don't already have one with them. This is someone that wants to sit down and have an honest conversation. They miss you. They're going to reach out. This person's going to reach out. And it's kind of funny because when I look at lessons learned, like and don't be mad at me for saying this, okay? But I almost feel like both parties had something to learn. And I almost feel, and it doesn't even really matter about age, right? Because when it comes to love, sometimes we act childish and we don't mean to. And it's kind of funny because I feel like I feel like this I feel like this is a couple that didn't break up because someone cheated or anything like that. This is a couple that, like, okay, we're going to take some time apart because like they weren't able to like agree on things. Maybe it's this family. Maybe one person wants to have a family, maybe one person does not. Maybe one person needs to move to be with the other and neither one of them wants to relocate. I get the feeling with the relocate that the two people, whoever these two people are, they are going to they're going to be together. They're going to move in together if they weren't already. Like when I saw the relocating card, I thought, "Oh, they're buying a house." But when I look at the lessons learned card, the funny thing is what comes off for me is like two people realizing like maybe they weren't honest with each other, maybe they were both acting kind of immature. And I don't want anybody to take offense to that because I mean, I haven't been in many relationships, but I've been out there enough to know. I mean, I was with my ex-husband for 11 years, married for 7 of them. I had the boyfriend before him. You know, I've been in quote unquote relationships. There are plenty of times I can look back and I can honestly say I probably acted, pardon me, that I probably acted immaturely. You know, I can own that behavior. That doesn't even bother me. You know, if that bothers you, there's so many other things going on in the world. So many other things that have probably happened to you in your life that should bother you. Being bothered about admitting that you were immature or childish should not be one of them. I mean, we've all been there. You know, I'll probably be there again. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Again, we're all human. We're all learning. We're all growing. We're all healing. And, you know, when readers say, oh, you might have thought you healed from something, but now you're going to like revisit it and you're going to heal from it again. They mean everything. They mean childish behavior, immaturity, acting like an idiot, right? Like these are all things that you're like, oh, I'm so much better now. You know, I'm an adult and I've been healing for 10 years. Come on. Come on, let's just be honest here. And that doesn't necessarily go for every single person, but probably a good portion, right? And again, I don't think there's anything to be upset about or be embarrassed about. Like emotion is emotion, you know, behavior is behavior. Until you call it out, till you actually dissect it and look at it, you're not going to know. You're not going to recognize it. And the funny thing is you know, like if this couple was like bickering and acting immature, you know, like tit for tat kind of energy, that kind of thing, if they sit down and have a conversation about it and they acknowledge it and they both agree to take accountability for their own actions and they both agree to set that aside to come together and start over again because there's obviously something here, you don't think that the next time you have like a disagreement or an argument or an interaction, that at least one of you is not gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to act like this. I remember this. I did this last time and we broke up. Like, I don't want to do this again. That would be learning. That would be growing, right? Take a sip of water. I'm guessing the time apart is mutual. I mean, take how that resonates for you. I mean, they could have wanted the time apart. Just because they absolutely love and adore you, they still could have been like, I think we need, to take some time, and it's kind of, it's really gives off that energy of like two people deciding to just, what is it they said on Friends? Take a break, right? Like, these two people are going to take a break, and the whole time that they're on break, they're thinking about each other. And I really feel like whoever this is, this other person, they adore you, they true love, family. They're the ones that are going to reach out. They're the ones that are going to want to have an honest conversation. I'm not saying that you wouldn't either, or the other person wouldn't either, but I'm just saying the one that shows that they're invested in the cards, I feel, is the one that's going to reach out first and be like, baby, I can't live without you. Don't get me started on the phrase baby. I don't want to hear about that in the comments. I don't know. I don't mind if a man or a woman calls me baby, as long as it fits their personality. And I feel like, and maybe it's just me, and maybe it's sexist. I don't know. But man or woman, like, you have to be very confident and sure of yourself, and very, even as a woman, I'm going to say it. And I'm bisexual, guys. So even as a woman, like, you kind of have to have that masculine energy, like that deep masculine energy. A man would have to have that deep masculine energy for them to be able to call me baby and me actually like it. Do you know what I mean? Like, something about the package for me. Like, if you're not the whole package and you call me baby, like, I don't think I can take that seriously. I don't know. Otherwise, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really, yeah. Then again, I have other kinks and preferences that go along with baby. So, just saying. I like how I got off on this little sidetrack of BS. Whoever this person is, they really like to touch you. Like, there's 6 cards with multiple people in there, and 5 of them they're all touching. The only one they're not is this one. And that's because they're on separate seats. I almost feel like, too, like, this might be like, almost like, you've been together a while, right? Like, a couple months, a year and a half, I don't know, whatever. Like, you've been together a while. and you've never really had like an argument to the point where, like you felt like it threw the whole relationship off or it changed the dynamic, right? Like we've all been there. I feel like this was it. I feel like something happened. There was an argument, some miscommunication, two people acting childish, not being honest, not really communicating, conversing like they should be. And then they're like, okay, like let's just take time apart. And it's kind of like, okay, but like how much time apart? Like, are we talking a couple days, a couple months, a year? You know what I mean? And it's two people realizing very quickly thereafter, like, I think we made a mistake. Like, I think we should have worked this out. I think we should have talked about it. Because I'm not seeing like long term time apart. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing in the cards to suggest it. And I'm not feeling it. Like, this is like like a couple having like their first big argument, And instead of like trying to figure it out and like communicate, it's like they each went to their separate corners. And then they realize when they get to their separate corners, well, maybe that's not what you're supposed to do. Maybe you're actually supposed to say what you have to say, whether it's brutal or not. I mean, the only thing that I really have to go by for myself is like when I told my ex-husband that I wanted a divorce. And I didn't really tell him I wanted a divorce. I said I'm getting a divorce. Like, we're getting a divorce. I didn't really leave it open for discussion. We did decide to like try, but we didn't even make it a month, and I was like, no, I can't. Like, we're getting a divorce. I can't. And that was probably when I told him I wanted a divorce. We literally sat down and we probably had like a 45-minute, hour-long conversation where I just laid all kinds of shit out on the table. How I was unhappy. I was unhappy with myself. I was unhappy with him. I was unhappy with the relationship. Everything that I had been holding in for years. And that's not good, right? Like, couples should not do that. Like, when you have something to say, you need to say it. And you need to say it in that moment. I had a discussion. I had something happen with a friend at work, and she was upset by something that I said. I didn't realize it upset her. She never said anything. And then like 7 months later, her and another woman there at work said something to me, and it was upsetting to me. And I said something to her, and she's like, well, when you said this to me, I was upset. And I looked at her and I said, okay, first of all, you're deflecting. Like, you don't want to admit that you upset me, and you don't want to be held accountable for that. Okay, fine, you're deflecting. But I looked at her and I said, why wouldn't you tell me you were upset about what I said at the time? Like, why wouldn't you have said that at the time? Like, why would you wait like 7 months to say something? And then use it to deflect so you don't have to talk about what you said to me that was upsetting to me. And that all around that right there is all fucked up. That's all kinds of fucked up. She never did take accountability for what she said, but it was funny because when she told me what I said upset her, like, I went back and I thought about that interaction, and I was like, yeah, I get it. Like I didn't think about it at the time. And I didn't mean it the way she thought I meant it. But I understand from her point of view why she would be upset. And I understand that technically, theoretically, I don't know how I could have. I mean, I never really went in depth with this in particular, but I know that there's probably some way I could have reworded what I said and she wouldn't have taken offense to it in reference to me saying it. Because when I said what I said, I think she thought I was saying it specifically about her and it was my opinion and it was the way I felt. And when I said what I said, it was not just in reference to her, it was in reference to a whole group of people at our work and the fact that our work looks at them a certain type of way. Not me, but our work. But I don't think she understood that. And I realized, like, okay, either A, I should have just never said it, right? Or B, I should have said it in a much clearer, concise manner. That's me taking accountability for my actions. That's me recognizing, yeah, I fucked up somehow, you know? And realizing I hurt her in the process. She did not take that same accountability. But what I'm saying is that's the thing, right? Like, if you're in an argument with a spouse or a lover or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and you're in a heated discussion, or not even heated, you're just in a discussion, and the other person says something to you and you get offended or you get upset, you shouldn't just, like walk away or like brush it under the rug. You should literally call them out on it right then and there. If something upset you, if something was disturbing, if something was said in reference to you and you're like, that's not true, like, why would you say that? You need to say something. You can't just let that go. Again, 7 years married, and I let so many things go. And when him and I sat down and had that conversation, I had a lot to say. Like, I literally wrote it beforehand on a sheet of paper. Both sides. Almost every line of that piece of paper filled with something. And again, it wasn't all just, like me being unhappy with him. Like, things that I had to say about myself, things that I had to say about the marriage as a whole, you know? But again, I literally am waiting until I tell him, okay, I want a divorce. And this is why. When all of those moments in all of those years before, Kimberly Ann, you didn't say anything, right? Oh, the house smells like garlic. I got garlic in the oven. Yeah. And again, I'm going to stop this because I don't think there's really that much else to say. But again, with the relocating, maybe the conversation was about an argument about relocating. Or maybe the two of you or these two people live together and one got a job offer, but they need to relocate. I don't know. Something about possibly an argument about relocating. But again, at the end, when all is said and done, like, I see two people like living together, having a home together. So that card might have a double meaning. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Because you're going to have to figure this out for yourself. If this is you and this person's coming back, y'all are going to have to figure that out for yourselves. But I like this read. I liked it. It was a little different. It's cute, sorta. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you were entertained. I hope you all have a great day and or evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.